What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Things I Wish I Knew. Today, I got my homie, Lewis, the Greek stallion. How's it going, man?
Been a great week, long week. Thank God it's Friday.
Hell yeah, man. So I just wanted to talk to you about just a little bit about your background and stuff. Like I've been very like interested in I talked to Nate about her Albanian background, and I just want to and I talked to Ola and his background and stuff, and I just wanted to just dive deep into like your background and where your parents and grandparents came from and stuff, and just dive a little bit deep into like your studies and stuff too. So one of the first questions I want to ask is how was it, what is your actual like background besides like Greek? Is it just just like Greek, or is it what is that
Yeah, I'm 100% Greek. Both of my parents were born there, um, so that's my blood is blue and white, and of course I was born here, so I'm American
mm-hmm.
as well.
Yeah,
So I like to say American Greek because I was born here.
yeah.
But those who were born in Greece and moved here, they're Greek Americans. But some people mix up
Mm-hmm.
the term sometimes, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. So what was it like, growing up as a child? Like, and like, what is like that lifestyle? Like, is it like pretty much like, American lifestyle in the home, or is it a little different?
So it can definitely vary from like Greek family to family. It
Yeah.
really just depends on the parents and just how deep into the American culture they got. So like my parents were born there, right? So my parents were a little different. So my dad moved here when he was 17, and my mom moved here when she was like 3 years old. So
Mm.
my dad's got a really thick accent, but my mom, she's got an American dialect, but it's pretty funny, man. When she, depending on who calls the house phone, she'll pick up, and if it's someone from Greece or like someone she knows is about to speak Greek, she'll say hello. But if it's someone like who she knows doesn't speak Greek, she'll be like hello.
That's funny.
So she's
Yeah.
pretty flexible. But now my dad's accent, it's stuck like super glue. It's
Dude,
not.
you know what's funny? Black people do that on the phone, man. Like
Yeah,
if it's like the homie, I'll be like, "Hey, what's up, bro?" But if it's like a gyro, "Hey, how's it going?" Like like
absolutely.
SpongeBob shit. um,
So in terms of the culture, I mean, if you're if your family just kind of some families just don't retain the Greek culture that much in America. So that's why it's I've got 9 nieces and nephews now. I've got 3 sisters and 1 brother, and all 3 of my sisters, they've got 3 kids each now.
it's crazy.
So they're all 100% Greek too, all these kids. So kind of cool, I guess. And so now they're really making an emphasis on instilling the Greek culture into them. So they're putting them through Greek school,
Mm,
celebrating the holidays. They're trying to speak Greek around them.
mm.
Just get them comfortable with the language, at least with the basic words. Like they try to speak more Greek with them while they're little kids, because then they'll start to learn Greek. And then once they get to kindergarten, then they'll start learning English. It's all right if they're on a little bit of a crutch. They'll learn it fast. Kids are just sponges.
Yeah. And that's like one of the coolest things that I like about, like Greek people, like you like Mexican people, people from like all different like they like to like still like instill like those traditions and stuff. Like even black people like to do that shit too. And
So
and one of the things that that Americans are really shamed for is like, American values and stuff like that. And like, I hope like, and then like the reason why I don't like it is because America's a beautiful place. And then like, once we like, try to get rid of American values, where does it stop? Like, do we start, getting rid of, Latino values? Do we start getting rid of African American values? Like, do we start attacking Greek values and things like that?
that's what I'm saying. Like Americans have their own culture too. Like we up here, we live our lives a little differently than other people. We celebrate different things, and we have different inner values, or what we think is funny, or the types of music we listen to. So like
Mm-hmm.
you or I, when we go to any other country, man, I feel like we stick out like sore thumbs in terms of just being American. I don't know what it is. Even
Yeah.
like just a little bit. We just look kind of American, or at least maybe just the way we talk, or the clothing we wear. I don't know.
Mm,
People they pick up on that.
yeah. Did you go through Greek school or anything like that?
Yeah, so all my siblings they did Greek school up until like sixth or eighth grade, and I did Greek school up until like I think third grade, and I stopped there because I finally convinced my parents to. Well, I didn't really want to that much, but my brother convinced me to join, like to start playing football because
Mm,
I was a husky little kid, you know, and
yeah.
like I didn't really have a sport that I was able to call mine yet, you know, like this is my
Mm-hmm.
sport. So my brother, he's 8 years older, you know, he was always big into sports, really athletic guy, and he's always just kind of motivated me to, I don't know, just go further with with sports and lifting and just whatever I'm going after. So I showed enough love and interest in the sport before I joined, and my parents were like, you know what, just put him in football. He's already done enough Greek school, and it was fine because I at that point I already learned how to read Greek,
Mm,
which is half the battle in terms of learning the language.
mm,
Because I mean, everyone's seen Greek letters. Half of them are like they look like you could read it, but then the other half it's like what you know you don't really
yeah.
know. So
What kind of stuff like besides like the language and stuff like what are the kind of like things that like that you guys would do at like the school, like what were the things that you guys like learned and stuff, because you know like in American school you stand up for like the flag and shit, and
yeah, yeah.
you say like the Pledge of Allegiance and stuff, like what is like, you know, like what is like the curriculum and stuff like for Greek school?
Oh, let me think, dude. It's been a minute. I think before we would start, so Greek school would be at nighttime, 2 nights a week, from 6 to 8. So that sucked.
Oh fuck.
I imagine taking a little kid and telling them, okay, more school. I hated going to Greek school, man. It
That's
sucked.
crazy.
I would bitch and moan all day. Like I just dreaded going there. But before class started, I want to say we said the Pledge of Allegiance, just to kind of like tie our Greek roots back to the fact that we're also American and feel proud about that. So we
Mm-hmm.
did the American Pledge of Allegiance, and then I think we would. I think there was like a Greek something. I think it was the national anthem, maybe.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know.
Damn, I just singing the national anthem. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I swear to God, it was that's
That's
like
crazy.
the first thing they would make us do as little kids.
Yeah. All right. So is there like would you say like do they have like arranged like marriages and stuff in Greek families, and like, and is there like, how is that, and like what is that like, and like is it like how does that work? Like how does that all work?
Yeah, so back in the day, like 100 years ago, I think that was way more normalized. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure this is how it worked. Not that it was like set in stone or on paper that these kids were going to marry. I feel like
Mhm.
that probably happened some places, but it was more so like a couple friends or a couple distinct cousins, like maybe third, fourth cousins, to the point where like the kids are out of bloodline. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Mm.
too far.
Mm-hmm.
They'd be like, "Oh, I have a son, I have a daughter," and then like the parents growing up, be like they're gonna marry, you know, because they live in the same village or the same chorio. Chorio means village,
Yeah.
so these villages aren't big. So
Yeah.
if a couple buddies have a couple kids, boy and girl, and these buddies trust each other, they know they're gonna raise their kids to not to be like good people,
Mm.
then they'll really try and push for it. So I guess it really just depends on where you live, the town you live in.
Low key, that's honestly like if I had like a best friend and I had like a child, and then like my best friend had like a daughter or something like that, I'm like, hey dude, like we can make sure that they're good,
All
and
right, plug
like
them up.
yeah, like but and then like it works out even better if they like, you know, if it actually works out and shit. So like I
Exactly.
definitely fuck with that. Like I kind of fuck with that, yeah. I definitely
So,
do that.
and like some families, they're definitely like different because some families will kind of like force it on the kids,
Oh yeah.
which is wrong, obviously. And like maybe
Mm-hmm.
some of the kids they have to do it or they feel like they have to, but some of the families will just at least try and just kind of like push for it in a cool manner, you know, not to
Mm-hmm.
feel like it's forced, so
Mm-hmm.
that way they want it too. Marriage problem and that. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think that's happening a lot nowadays, especially not
Yeah.
in America. I know a lot of cultures still do it though.
So what is like, is it like because like I remember I was watching Uncut Gems and stuff, and like
Mhm.
Adam Sandler, like he was like, you know, the Jewish family and stuff, and like there's like the rich like Jewish people. Like, is there like the rich like Greek like families and stuff that you like that they like meet up and shit? Like, is there like what is a community like in Chicago in the area that you're in? Like, how what is like the Greek community like?
There are a lot of there's a lot of Greek families in Chicagoland and in the Midwest in general.
Yeah,
There's a lot of Greek churches, and I think that's so because back in like the mid 1900s, early 1900s, um, Greece was kind of still living in like the 1800s in terms of
yeah.
technology. Like you rarely saw a car there. Electricity was not really a thing.
Mm,
My dad would tell me growing up, he grew up like Jesus Christ because this man literally just farmed, like he had his own farm animals, slaughtered the animals, rode his horse like bareback around,
yeah.
and then eventually his oldest brother first moved to the states, and he moved to Chicago. He lived in Cicero or Berwyn, I believe. I forgot which town, but right around those towns over there. And that was pretty. I don't know how the trend started, but I think that's just kind of where it started. And a lot of these families, they would start off working in restaurants,
Mm,
working as dishwashers, making their way up to working as the chefs of the restaurant, and then eventually knowing enough about the business to open up their own place. And
mm,
that's why you see nowadays a lot of diners, like the casual diners you see down the street. Most of them will be like Greek owned.
mm-hmm.
So not that it's like Greek food, they probably have some Greek items on the menu, but yeah. So I think since Chicago was such a booming city, and it's known for their food, I think I'm just getting they just kind of flocked here. So they come in through
Yeah.
New York, take a train here, and it worked out.
Mm. So I know you're. I think I've only seen your dad like one time.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I know he owns his own restaurant and stuff, right?
Mhm.
Um,
Yes.
how is it still open even though like the whole COVID thing and all that stuff happened? Like, it's still is it still running?
Yeah. The restaurant's still open. It's been open through first for that initial shutdown. I think all restaurants had a shutdown, and
Mm,
we were just doing carry out.
yeah.
I finally pushed my dad. I'm like, and my cousins are the other owners too, and I'm like, you guys got to hop on Grubhub and Uber Eats and um, who else is there? Uh,
Uber Eats,
DoorDash.
Grubhub, DoorDash, yeah,
Yeah.
DoorDash,
So we
yeah.
have DoorDash and Grubhub now, but
That's what's up.
it took a little convincing because they take like 20 or like 25% of the cut, but you
Mm,
can up the prices on their menu a little bit.
yeah.
But so that was tough. But then we opened back up 50% capacity, and honestly, we didn't close during that second.
I wouldn't have either.
No, man, that's
Dude, that would have killed it. It would have killed, and plus I fuck with that place, bro. That was like the most fire breakfast I ever
you
had in
guys
my
came
fucking
in,
life.
right?
Yeah,
You guys
yeah,
came
yeah.
in.
We
You
ate
guys
there.
came
Yeah,
through, bro. Yes, Mother's Day restaurant. You
yeah.
tell
Mother's
all
Day,
your
dude.
friends
It's fire.
come to Chicago. If they're going to Brookfield Zoo, that's where you got to go. It's right, like a couple minutes from it.
Yeah, dude. Mother's Day is fire, man. Is it only the one, or does he own? Or is there's multiple?
It's just the one.
Dude, he needs to open another one, man. That shit's so fire.
I know, dude. That was my dad's dream, was to open up a huge chain of like Mother's Days with his brother or brothers. So
Yeah.
it started off working well. The first Mother's Day was opened up in Berwyn,
Mm-hmm.
and he had that for like, I don't know, 7 to 10ish years around there. It was super successful, booming. Everyone knew it in the neighborhood, in the area. And then he wanted to start expanding, right? So
Mm-hmm.
then he bought the current location in North Riverside, and then for a little bit he sold the original Mother's Day to some other guy, and then that guy didn't manage the restaurant well, and it closed down.
Oh wow.
He didn't, I guess he didn't get the business or whatever. I don't know who was.
Yeah.
So that shut down. My dad and his brother were at the current location, and it's just been that place ever since.
Yeah.
So it's been it's been a landmark community. I think I hope it's stayed for generations, whether my family owns it or not.
Yeah.
I know the area, people around there, they love it. Gives them someplace to eat for breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's so fire. Honestly, I've never had like I remember when they brought out the pancakes, dude. They were so fucking huge. I was like, dude, these are the most fire pancakes I've ever had in my life. And
Yeah,
like the sausages and everything, dude. It's like honestly, like I thought it was like the best breakfast I've ever had. Like I don't think I still to this day I tell Ben, I'm like, dude, like I don't think I've ever had like a better breakfast than like Mother's Day. Like I don't think I've ever found like another place I could top like that area.
bro.
So
Next
yeah,
time you
man.
guys come up, next time you come up during the weekend, take Ben to come to Mother's Day. I'll probably be working there. So
Yeah.
hit
Yeah,
me
dude.
up.
Yeah, dude.
I'll
Um,
hit you up.
so one day, do you want to like run it, or because I know you have like your thing going on with school and stuff. Like how do you see that? Like that because I know like in Greek families, do they like like that tradition and like that carrying on like the family stuff? Like how do you feel about that?
So it's definitely a thing where they try to pass on like whatever
Mm-hmm.
businesses they own to the kids. But throughout my whole life, my dad was like, he kind of convinced me to not really go into the restaurant business just because it's really stressful.
Mm-hmm.
It can be pretty volatile in terms of the employees that you have.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. If someone doesn't show up to work, like one of the main chefs, you're kind of screwed for that day.
Yeah.
So I think he was just talking to me based off experience.
Mm-hmm.
But now in the later years, my dad he's kind of been at a crossroads and he's not really sure. He's like, so what do you think you want to do? Like kind of giving me the option. And although I am in PT school, he's kind of just trying to find a way for me to take some type of ownership with it afterwards, whether it's I work there a couple times a week. Because right now my cousins, they own one half of it, of the restaurant, and then he wants to kind of pass on his half of the ownership to me, my brother, and one of my sisters.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so we're both kind of on that boat, but it's still not 100% decided.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm just trying to think of what I'll be doing with PT, where I want to go with it, and what time I will have, because I'm gonna be busy, man. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be super busy during the week, and not that that's a bad thing. And I wish there were more hours during the week.
Yeah.
I want to. That's not me saying I won't do it, but
Mm-hmm. You're just
it's
too
definitely
busy. Yeah.
it's definitely on the table, like something
Yeah.
I'm considering.
Mm-hmm. What is a Greek wedding like? Is it like different from like your typical like,
Crazy, man.
dress and like, the guys wearing the suit and the girls wearing the dress and they say I do like what is like, like the Greek wedding like? What is that? Like what is that experience like?
It's pretty similar to American weddings in terms of like how it starts. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the wedding part or like the church part of the wedding, it always takes like an hour.
Oh yeah.
I know it's not the same with like Catholic Church is another.
What is Greek church? Like what is it like is it Catholicism, Christianity? What is
Yeah, it's Christian Orthodox.
okay, okay.
So Orthodox is so a while back, Catholicism and Orthodoxy they used to be one, and at some point in time they started to see or they started to believe or have different ways of viewing the Bible or just different ways of going about practicing the religion.
Mm-hmm.
So at some points they split, and now you see what you have nowadays. I think Orthodoxy follows like older traditional ways of the religion,
Mm-hmm.
and Catholicism kind of followed a more modern approach to it. I can't really give the specifics of it, but when I'm in church and growing up in church, I just got this vibe that I was in this like really old Byzantine type of environments because that's the type of music that they sing, like just Byzantine style music, and they're singing in Greek, and it's honestly beautiful, you know.
That's
I
just
don't know.
crazy. I want to see that shit actually, because like in a black church, it's like pretty much sounds like the same thing, just a bunch of black people just singing in the church. But when I was going, I got tired of church from having to go having to go so
Hey,
much.
bro, once a week,
Yeah,
it was a lot, man. Would
yeah,
you go once a week?
yeah, yeah. Every Sunday.
Every Sunday, bro. Yep, I was an altar boy growing up. So at
Yeah.
least like once I got into like grade school, then I started going into the altar. So then it was like I had a job at the church, and I
Oh
did that
shit.
until I was 18. So
Yeah.
pretty much most Sundays until I was 18.
So
It was man, I was there a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot.
yeah.
And so growing up for you, what church were you in? Like what type of church did you
Um,
did you practice in?
I think it was just Christian, just basic, just basic Christian.
What,
I'm not sure if it was Orthodox or anything like that. I just knew that it was just Christian. We believed in Jesus Christ.
right.
And like that he died on the cross for all of our sins and shit.
Hmm.
Um, I have a question. Like, what, when did like the Greeks like switch from Roman gods to like Orthodox, like the Christian Orthodox?
When they switched from the old gods? Yeah,
Ye-
Greeks and Romans, they worship the same gods. They had different names for them.
Yeah,
Good question, bro. I think just like right around like Christ's time, because the first, from what my mom was telling me, the first Bible ever was actually written in ancient Greek.
yeah.
So I'm thinking Greeks were some of the first like worshipers of Christianity. So I'm guessing like 2,000 years ago, if I had to
That's
put them together.
wild. Cause like I'm just like, what happened to all those other gods? Like, what happened to like so like do they not like ever talk about them at all?
So in Greek school, we didn't really. I think they would talk about it sometimes in Greek school, but like it's not. I don't. From what I know, I don't think anyone in Greece worships the ancient gods anymore. But I wouldn't be shocked, man. I'm sure there's some like little village up in the mountains. There's still
Yeah.
in Athena.
Dude, I definitely want to see some shit
Oh,
like that. I want to see like some worshiping of like the other gods. Like I want to see like what that looks like and like cuz I don't think that like a lot of people got to like could like see, like how that like ceremony would go or like just like church or anything. Like
if you ever have a chance have you ever visited Greece?
no, no, no.
If you ever have a chance, man, just you're probably going to fly into Athens. So just take advantage of the fact that you're going to be there before you go to all the cool islands or wherever else you're going to go. Just visit the Parthenon, man. Just hike the little mountain, and just you'll get a good sense of kind of how they worshipped. They have I think it's called the Temple of Athena. So
Mm.
so you have the Parthenon, right? The big thing that everyone knows about. Off
Mhm.
to the side is an also really big structure where it's called the Temple of Athena, and it's just a bunch of like instead of pillars, it's a bunch of bodies of Athena standing up, and her body is the pillar next to each other.
Whoa.
It looks pretty badass.
Dude, how do they fucking build that?
I,
That's just
I
crazy.
don't know, bro. It's blown my mind my whole life. Like, it's. I think the Parthenon is one of the seven world wonders. I want to say. I want to say I'm
That
not sure.
I feel like any building built back then is a world like is a wonder. Like, cause how'd you build that with no like with the tools?
The pyramids in Egypt and the Aztecs and the Parthians. I don't know, dude. They're just smart, man. Ancient Greeks, they uh, they paved the way for a lot of modern day architecture
Yeah.
and just at least some of the techniques, like the Pythagorean theorem.
Yeah, yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah.
Okay, the guy Pythagoras, he was Greek. He invented that, and because
Oh.
of that formula, you're able to solve so many different problems with regards to finding the side of a right triangle, which
Mm.
I think might have helped them out with some of their construction and architecture because they
That's
probably had just
crazy.
I don't know they probably used Roman numerals or I don't know, but
Yeah.
they they did use math. So there was structure to whatever they were doing there for sure.
Mm.
Yeah.
All right. So back to the Greek weddings.
Oh
So
yeah.
like you have the church. Church is an hour. What happens like next? Like is it like cuz like I've seen like like Jewish weddings and stuff and they get wild. Like is it like all your friends and like is it like everyone's invited pretty much? Like it has to be like big.
Oh yeah, bro. They'll invite every. It's dude, my sister's weddings were massive, like 300 people,
It's crazy.
350, probably pushing 400 for at least one of them. Um, I mean,
How
if
do you
you
even know that many people? You-
what'd you say,
so how do you even know that many people? That's wild.
dude? It's just a family, extended family, like friends,
Yeah, it's crazy.
and then it's like girlfriends,
Mm,
boyfriends, spouses, kids, and just a lot of family, man. There's a lot of. It's pretty common within Greek families to just have a lot of relatives.
Mm.
The weddings, they get pretty crazy, bro. They usually start off, they'll introduce the whole like bridal party and the groom's party. Um, and they'll bring them all in, and they'll play some just really hype Greek song, get them in there. And the first thing they'll do is just have a huge Greek dance to start it off, kick it off. They'll have the whole bridal party up there. And that's how the weddings start. Not that everyone's dancing, the bridal party's
Yeah,
dancing, everyone
yeah,
watching, they
yeah.
clap for them. It's fun, man.
What is the Greek dance called? Like, is it just like, is there like a name for these like things that happen?
There's a few dances. There's a lot of dances, and I've learned a handful of them in my life. The most common one is called Kalamatiano. And so if you ever Google Kalamatiano or YouTube it, you'll see it. And if you ever go to a Greek wedding, dude, it's pretty easy to learn. When I was a kid, it like looked hard for a second, but just get in the circle, hold the hands, just stare at people's feet, and just try and copy it. So
That's
that's like the group dance, but dude, it really goes down with the the Zebekiko dance. So Zebekiko is a type of dance, and it's a style of music too. If I might be saying that correctly, but basically it's just a really just badass Greek solo, pretty much. Just a badass Greek song with just deep lyrics, either about I don't know their friends or what they do in their lives or their wife,
mm,
or just really hardcore things.
yeah.
Meant for the words, but there's this Greek instrument called a bouzouki. I don't know. Have you ever heard of that before?
No, but is it like a guitar shaped kind of instrument?
It's played like a guitar.
Yeah,
Like so,
yeah.
if you know how to play guitar, you could pick a bouzouki and like it's a stringed instrument, but it
Mm-hmm.
sounds like a banjo.
Mm.
Honestly,
Yeah, I've seen like only in video games and like TV shows. I didn't know the name for it, but as soon as you said like Bazooki, is it did I say that right?
yeah, bouzouki exactly.
Yeah, yeah, all right. So as soon as you said that, I was like automatically I assumed that it was like a like that guitar kind of banjo looking thing.
Yeah,
And
dude.
so like that's what like they is that what most of like their music is like played on? And
Yeah,
what is like the genre of like Greek music? What would that genre be considered under?
good question, bro. It's it's there's basically every genre of music within the Greek culture, plus the original types of like Greek styles of music. So there's Greek rap. I've heard some; it's pretty decent. There's Greek pop, uh,
Hmm.
and then there's just a mix between like Zebekiko and just I don't know. I think pop some of the more popular music.
Yeah.
There's like a mix between like Zebekiko or Rebetiko. This other genre, Rebetiko, is basically like the blues for Greece.
Hmm.
This type of music,
That's honestly that sounds like it would be fire.
I wrote a paper on it. So back in freshman year of college, me and uh, me and a couple of my cousins and some other Greek friends, we took a class called Modern Greek Culture,
Mm.
and then we were learning about modern Greek culture and some ancient Greek culture too. And I had to write a paper comparing and contrasting American blues to Greek rebetiko, and just how they're similar and different and how they express like the emotions.
Mm.
My dad was telling me some funny stories about I don't know funny if you want to call it funny, but basically with rebetiko they'll be playing this type of music in like low key like Greek taverns where you'll
Mm.
see these old like Greek stoners like not the nice kind of stoners, like the mean ones, man. The ones who are just they sip
Mean stoners?
like they sip their ooze, like they look like they have a bone to pick with everyone. Like someone pissed them off. And so what they'll do is they'll go in these taverns, they'll sit there looking cool as hell, getting lit off like ouzo, which is like a type of liquor's tasting liqueur. The ouzo, and they're probably stoned or doing blow. I don't know any type of drug. They'll be getting lit in these taverns by themselves, and then they'll go up and they'll pay the musician. They'll pay them some money to play like their own song, right? They'll be like, "This is my song." They'll go up, give them some cash, and then when it's time to play, they're gonna go up and just let their emotions loose and just start dancing. And if anyone goes up there and messes with their vibe, they're whipping out a knife and killing somebody on the spot. Swear to God.
What?
Not like totally common, but like it's like kind of like a dark type of thing. So Rebetiko Greek blues, which is a little different than American blues.
That's
I feel
wild.
like, yeah, I feel like with
That's
American bars, it doesn't get that cold.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's blues to like the 10th, like like times 10, man. That's some real blues right there, bro. Like, whipping out a knife on somebody,
They
fucking up
got
their
they
vibe.
got they got some deeper problems. They got to go to a therapist, bro.
Yeah, dude. So what made your dad move from Greece to America? Like it's beautiful. Why like so like I just want to know like why would he choose to move to Greece to
Good question. I think it was a mix of things. I've asked him a bunch of times, and he's given me like mixed answers every time. Like he's given me a true answer, but I think there's been like a few right answers.
Mm-hmm.
So one, when he was like a little boy, like between 5 and 10, there was a really bad earthquake. So my dad's family, they're from an island called Zakynthos. It's just
Mm.
west of the mainland. I think it's like the 10th largest island in Greece, or it's one of the top 10 biggest. Um, but it's really prone to earthquakes. So there was like a category 6.5 earthquake. I don't know, something around there. But it just leveled the island, man. Like anyone's homes who weren't made of like solid concrete just got destroyed.
That's crazy.
So I think I think so. So my dad's home, and then my grandparents and their whole family, the house just got destroyed. And I think at this point, I want to say, I'm not 100% sure, his older brother had already moved to America. I don't know what initially drove my uncle to move here. I think he was ambitious. They probably talked to the family like there's opportunity for growth there, money, like let's get us out of here. There's not,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't too much for them there, and they kind of saw that. And I don't know, in the 40s and 50s and 60s, America was just booming, man. Like that was just, it was the land of
Yeah.
opportunity, and still is, but I feel like more so then, at least for a lot of Europeans.
Mm-hmm.
So that earthquake, it kind of messed up their life for like a year. My dad told me he was living in a tent for like a year, man.
That's crazy.
He lived like a homeless man almost.
Yeah.
Um, so whatever, he got into his teens, and I think it was just time to go. Him and his whole family, they got out of there, and they met up with my uncle in Chicago. And they
That's
settled down here. I
that's
think
so
everyone left but my grandpa. My grandpa stayed there for a little bit, but him, his two sisters, and his mom, they came here.
mm,
So yeah, came here, started off literally what I told you earlier. Started off as a busboy, as a dishwasher, worked his way up to the head chef of whatever restaurant he was at, and then I think at like 22 or 23, opened up his first restaurant called Char Pit back in the Grange Park,
mm.
just like the Chicago suburb.
Dude, that is so crazy because like most people like they don't even realize like because I've seen like your house before. Someone could just like pull up and just look at your house and be like, oh, look at these people. They have this big house. They have this and that, and like they don't even know like the story of like how you got that. Like you said, your dad was living in a tent, and then he
Run,
comes to America, and then he opens up his own restaurant at 23, and
run.
I guarantee you, like he probably went through more struggles. Just dealing with that restaurant at the age of 23, and then like all the other bullshit you have to deal with, because there's people that probably stabbed him in the back, at sometimes in his life, because you're 23 years old opening a restaurant, like anything could happen.
And think about it. This guy, yeah, man, my dad's a really proud man. He's worked so hard in his life to get where he's at. And but coming here from Greece, he didn't know any English.
Yeah.
He got around by just, I don't know, hello, hello, just obviously being nice,
Mm.
showing that he cares to try and be like involve himself in a conversation. And then just, I don't know. He was a ladies' man when he was young. He was a hit with the girls, so that
Yeah.
probably helped him out. I don't know. He was a handsome young guy, and he at least understood the business mindset really with the
Mhm.
restaurant. I think working those few years as a chef helped him out a lot. And then he also had that first restaurant he opened up. I think he opened it up independently of without his brother. Then after that, he opened it up with his But yeah, he's come a long way, and he loves talking about it. Just like how he used to live like Jesus Christ, pretty much.
Yeah.
Um, so
So, is your what is your mom just a stay-home mom? Like, what is she? Did she study anything? Did she what does she do?
yeah, so my parents got married. My dad was in his later 20s, and my mom was a senior in high school.
Oh
So
shit, that's cool.
yeah, dude, back in the 70s, that was it was a little different then. It was like so my mom met my dad when he was at the when she first met him, he was a very successful businessman at the time, you know? So I
Mm-hmm.
was like, she was just this dude, it runs it runs deep. Okay, I gotta start over. My dad first met my mom because my grandpa, my mom's dad, worked for my father. And he was actually the night manager for my dad at the first Mother's Day. Okay. So the first
Mm.
Mother's Day was open 24 hours.
Oh
So
shit.
my grandpa would work nights, the night shifts at Mother's Day. And I think that's how he started, at least getting to know my mom's family. And then one day, and then they were also kind of neighbors. They lived like a couple blocks away from each other, or like a block away. And then their families kind of started to get closer. And then one day, my grandpa, I think, called up my dad, just asking if he could give my mom and then her sister or her cousin a ride to high school. No, 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 no. Here's what it was. Okay. So my dad's first cousin they were in the same grade, was in the same grade as my mom at I think Morton East, or one of the Mortons. Um,
Mm.
and so my mom was friends with my dad's first cousin, and my dad's first cousins, they're close with each other, right? So now they're even closer. So my he drove his cousin and my mom to high school one day before he went to work. And so he first met my mom when she was like, I don't know, a freshman or sophomore in high school, like this young, like gawky teenage girl. And he didn't think anything of her at the time. She just, she kind of had some pimples in her face, like
Yeah.
didn't blossom yet.
Yeah.
And then later on, he saw her again like 3 years later, and she just turned this beautiful woman. And he was head over heels for her. And they started to date for a little bit, blah, blah, blah. And one summer they were in Greece, and he found out that, so my mom is from Kalamata. You ever heard of that place before?
No, but I've actually heard of the name of the place that your dad is from. But I
Zakynthos?
know, yeah, yeah. Well, only because I played God of War and stuff like that. And like God of War, they have like the Greek islands and stuff, and like you're pretty
They mentioned
much,
Zakynthos and God of War.
yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
It's
Yeah.
So whatever, that one summer they were in Greece together, and my dad went all the way to Kalamata, which is on the mainland. So he took a ferry boat and drove through the mountains to go meet up with her family, kind of as like a greeting of himself to her entire family.
Mm.
Like not trying to really hide any secrets, like I have these intentions, or at least like I would like to date you, that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
It was a little different back then. And that's kind of how it happened, man.
Yeah.
And then my
Is that
mom,
how it is right now? Do you have to like let's just say you date a Greek girl. Do you have to go straight to their family and be like, "Yeah, I want to date. I'm dating your daughter or whatever, and like I want to do this."
I like probably some of them, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. Most of them know, but they're out there, man. Those
Yeah.
just those deeply woven just Greek families with really traditional values. But yeah, they're out there. So my mom had her first kid at like 18 or 19.
That's wild.
So she didn't really have time to go to school or go to college or
Yeah.
like kind of she did though. My dad was paying for her college,
Mm.
at least like during the I think she got her associates. I think she wanted to be a nurse, or she wanted to work the front desk at like a physician's clinic, something like that. So she was going to school for that. And I think while she was about to like finish up her degree, but then she got pregnant with me, like, and She just threw in the towel. She's like, screw it. I'm just gonna raise the kids, and it worked out fine because
Yeah.
my dad was working and she was raising
Yeah.
5 children, so that's the hardest job of them all.
Yeah.
So it worked out.
That's definitely a tough ass job. Um, so, oh, what is it? So, like, how many brothers and sisters do you have again? How many?
I have one brother and 3 sisters. And my brother is the closest in age to me.
Mm,
He's 8 years older, and then two of my sisters are twins. They're 10 years older, and then my oldest sister is 14 years older than me.
that's wild, man. Like, so, like, they're in their 30s and you're in your 20s, and like, how is like that? Like, with that age gap, like, how is it? Like, what is that like?
When I was younger, it sucked because I wanted to do everything they were doing,
But
and
you
like
just couldn't.
I couldn't. And, like I was like 12, and they're all going out to bars and getting lit, and I'm seeing their pictures, and it looks so fun, and I just wanted to have a good time.
Yeah,
But I don't know. Or I would try and hang out with my brother and his buddies whenever they were over.
yeah.
I'm the annoying little brother. It's just
Were most of their friends Greek? Like how does that like um so if you're Greek, do you mainly just have like a tight Greek circle? I know like obviously like we're buddies and shit.
yeah.
But do you have like more would you say you have more Greek American friends than just regular American friends?
I would say probably like 30% of my closer friends are Greek. So
Hmm.
I probably have more American friends just because I don't know.
High school?
Yeah, it's so growing up, I grew up heavily involved in the church. So I have a lot of pretty good buddies from church. And then I also played in the church basketball league. So I
Mm,
started to meet a couple of good buddies through this church, St. Spiridon. And then those friends that I met there, we ended up going to high school together and playing football together. So I have a pretty close group of at least a couple of Greek friends, some of my closer buddies.
yeah.
And then we have so it's a clique of 4 guys, me, two other Greeks, and then an American guy.
Yeah.
So my buddy Mike, he's the honorary Greek in our group, pretty much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean it varies a lot too, just depending on who you grew up with. Like I know some Greeks who just don't have any like Greek friends, or like
Mm.
very few, or they just weren't involved in the community growing up. So like growing up, I would be going to like Greek festivals over the summer.
What is that like, bro? That should sound like it's fun.
So most churches, most Greek churches, they'll hold their own Greek fest for like
Mm,
one weekend during the summer. Like they'll all of the churches will communicate and they'll each schedule their own weekend to have a Greek fest. So they basically just have huge cookout. They're cooking food, desserts. They have games for the kids. They have live Greek music, and then they have what else do they have? They have a bar. It's just and it's outdoors and it's just in their huge parking lot, and it's
dude.
for anyone in the community. So that's like the chance for all the Americans around to come try out Greek food, and it's mainly a fundraising event for the church to make some money,
Yeah.
but also to just spread the knowledge of Greek culture and or food and
I definitely would want to go to something like that because number one, I haven't been to Greece or anything like that. So I feel like since I haven't been to Greece, if I went to something like that, it could give me like a taste of what like Greece could like, is kind of like. Cause like when I like, cause like in movies and stuff like that, when you look at Greece and stuff, you see people playing music on the street and shit. You see like all that kind of like, the food, like being like the restaurants are outside. Like I'm like, oh, dude, this shit's lit. Like I would like that's like probably like like one of the main if anyone that hasn't been to Greece, I think that they should probably go to would you recommend going to like one of those things? Definitely.
oh like one of the Greek fests.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fun. There's one I know for a fact. There's one pretty close to you actually. Kind of
Yeah.
it's near Champaign. One of
Mm.
my buddies who went to U of I and his family grew up in Munster, Indiana. His grandpa, I think he owns one of the churches, one of the owners of a church. He's higher up on the board of the church. I don't know, but they have a
Mm.
really big Greek fest there. Or I'll have to ask him. I can get you the information. It's not too far
Okay.
from you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's worth it, at least just to try the food. Just
Hell
get
yeah,
a,
bro. Bro, I'm definitely when there's food involved, bro. I'm in
what,
it.
what's some of your favorite Greek food that you've tried?
I've never had Greek food. Like if there's food involved, bro, I'm in it. But like what is like what is like a traditional like Greek like dish? Like what are the traditional Greek dishes?
Man, there's a lot.
What's like what's your favorite ones?
So, a good question. Probably souvlaki, which is basically just Greek shish kebab. So it's like just pork shish kebab, but
Mm,
it's with Greek seasonings.
mm.
Um, of course, gyro. I love so much, man. You ever tried gyro?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but see,
Okay, okay, okay,
yeah,
okay.
yep, that's Greek, or even just that's like Middle Eastern too. Like a lot of
Mm-hmm.
Middle Eastern countries, and they they're big on gyros.
Is Lebanese food kind of like Greek food? Is it like on that like
Couldn't say, man. I'm not too sure. Probably wrong. Is that near Greece?
I don't think so. I don't know if
If if it's near Greece, I'm gonna side with yes, just because the whole like the Mediterranean area, they
yeah.
kind of have similar cuisines.
Mm.
But in terms of some of my favorite Greek foods, probably pasticcio, which is basically like Greek lasagna.
Mm.
And there's another type of Greek lasagna-esque food called moussaka, which is kind of cooked with. It can be with or without meat. So if you don't want meat, you cook with the eggplant. And it's so good, man.
So you can you get these things at Mother's Day too?
We do have a Greek section. Let me think about it. So we have spanakopita on the menu. So that's basically like a Greek spinach pie,
Yeah.
or like a spinach cheese, a phyllo dough pie. You ever seen those before?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they're kind of becoming popular amongst Americans too. Like even just like cheese phyllo pies.
Mm.
They'll have them as like apps at I don't know parties. You ever seen like the spiral ones?
I haven't seen the spiral one.
Maybe. Okay, then you've seen the traditional one. Then the spiral is
Yeah.
a new thing that they're doing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that's a really popular Greek item. We have classic this Greek chicken. So we basically cook half a Greek chicken in the broiler. We put all the Greek seasonings on it: garlic, oregano, olive oil, and then with some Greek potatoes, and rice, and tzatziki
Man,
sauce,
that sounds fire as hell right now. I'm
cucumber
starving.
sauce. It's so good. We have Greek shish kebab. We have a gyro plate, a gyro sandwich. Um, Man, if you ever go to Greece, some of the best street food you're gonna get, it's called a pita. So it's just
Pita bread, yeah.
pita
That's
bread
fire.
with gyro inside, fries, onions, tzatziki sauce, and then I think of like tomatoes and a few other veggies wrapped together in just this little sandwich, man. It's
That
you think
sounds
of like
fire.
you think of like late night burgers here when you're lit. No, man, it's the pitas there. That's what they get.
So you've been to Greece before, right?
Oh yeah, I've been there
All
probably
right.
5 or 6 times.
All right. So what is like the nightlife like? Have you experienced like club life and like the night? What is that like, man? Like is that lit? Is it lit? Is it
So it can vary depending where you're at within the country. But the island that my dad's from, which is where we have a house, that's the summer home that I haven't been to Greece since I was 16, just because I've been busy every summer with football in high school and then summer school and college. But the nightlife on Zakynthos, dude, there's different sections. So you pick your poison. You either go party in an area where it's kind of like Cancun. So you're partying with all the college kids of Europe, pretty much, like
Mm.
like mainly from England or Poland or some of the Balkan regions. Dude, they come there and they just tear it up. They it's wild. It's called the area is called Lagana. It's literally like Cancun, man. Just a huge strip of like clubs and bars, and
How much is it expensive there
to get
to
around.
like go to get wild?
That's a good question. I've honestly never looked at the prices of places. I just
Ah.
we just go stay at the house, and I didn't have. I mean, I didn't really have to buy anything there.
Yeah, yeah,
My
yeah.
dad was taking me on vacation,
Yeah, hell yeah,
so
that's lit.
but I would, I would I would assume at least in Lagana, It can probably vary depending on the place, but it can
Yeah.
probably be affordable to
Mm.
go get a hotel in Lagana. So
Yeah.
that's one side of the clubbing and partying, dude. They're like animals over there, man. This club strip is lead up to the beach, and these kids just go ape shit on the beach and in the clubs. Like you can't stop them. It's like dangerous.
Do they
People,
speak? Do they? Would you say that they all speak decent English? Like the people
Greeks in
that you're
general,
or just like everyone on there, like when you see them, like are they like do they speak like
in this club strip.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, they're speaking English, bro.
They're
Oh yeah,
speaking English? That's
most,
crazy.
most of them are British. Yeah, that's why. So they'll
Damn.
have the accents, man, but dude, they'll come in just flocks of like 20, like parties of 20, all wearing the same shirts, coming there for a holiday. You know that they call it, that's their spring break
Yeah.
holiday. So I mean, just as anyone here during in college would just go and go to I don't know somewhere in Mexico, they go there and
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, is that like their like is like that their Mexico? So that's pretty much their like
that's
um
like their Cancun. At least
yeah,
this spot
yeah.
in Bangkok. There's probably a couple spots in maybe in Italy too.
Hmm.
Man, this is the one. So you could, if you're ever gonna look it up, you either search Lagana, that's Laganas, or look up vacation in Zante, Zante. So Zante is like southern area on the island, which is where where the tourists kind of go. At least like the ones who are trying to party hard, they're gonna go
Hmm.
to Lagana. Lagana is within the Zante region. So they don't call. They're not saying, "Oh, I'm going to Zakynthos for vacation." They'll say, "I'm going to Zante," and then they'll mainly know what they're talking about.
Hmm.
But so that's one part of the island where if you want to party, but then there's other areas of the island where if you want to like turn up with the Greeks, there's Greek clubs like just strict Greek music, just partying all night, breaking glasses, throwing napkins, dancing all over the place, like just
Bruh,
debaucher,
that's wild. I'm trying to see
debaucherous Greek party, man. It's
bro, I'm trying to see
that
some shit like that.
that
That's
I
wild.
think gets a look can get crazier than the Cancun
Yeah, yeah.
Magana region.
Yeah, I'm trying to see like if I ever do some shit like that, I'm trying to see like the real like Greek shit and party with the real Greeks.
Hey man, let me tell you, my uncle he owns a hotel just down the street from this area in Zakynthos. It's called Hotel Venus.
Yeah.
So that's one of my dad's brothers. He's one of the brothers that kind of originally started in America, but then his heart was just calling him back to Greece, and I don't know, he felt like he needed to move back, and so that's where he took his family, opened up a hotel, very successful hotel there,
That's
Hotel
what's up,
Venus.
man.
So if you're ever going to Zakynthos and you want to go somewhere comfortable, that's the place.
Hell yeah, bro.
And
I'm gonna
it
touch
and
down.
it's not right in the club strip, so you don't have to worry about I don't know if you're trying
People
to like
fucking with your stuff.
if you're trying yeah if you're fucking with your stuff, you're trying to feel a little more chill, but if you want to go turn up too,
Yeah.
you go down the street. But this place is right by the beach as well.
Yeah, that's nice, man. So when you went to Greece, like, so it was just a vacation, like, and to like see family, obviously. Like, what was it like to, see like like your family over in Greece? Like, was this like the first time you ever seen them? Was it like how was that for you?
So the first time I went to Greece, I was I don't remember the first time I went to Greece. Honestly, I was really little. I was probably like 4. The first time, I have like vague memories. Like I don't remember shit from that first time. But then,
Yeah.
as I was getting older, I remember going there when I was like 8. I went there when I was like 10 or 11 or 10 around there. When I was 13, and then when I was 16, and probably one more time. But my family would come here actually during the winter
Mm,
because here's how the island life kind of works. Most of people's money that they make is made during half of the year when it's like from spring to early fall time because
yeah.
that's when tourism is at its highest on the island. So the hotel, my uncle's hotel, is only open during half the year, and then the other half of the year they're kind of sitting on their ass, or at least just kind of just I don't know that they're not working.
Hey, honestly, that's nice. Because you can make all that money and then you can just chill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's so basically so during the winter they didn't have any obligations really. So they'd
Mm,
be coming to America to celebrate with my family. Like because most of the families here in America, most of the family moved here. There's not that much family in Greece anymore in terms of on my dad's
Mm,
side, a little bit on my
okay.
mom's side too. So they'd be visiting us during the winter. So growing up, I knew my Greek family.
Okay. Okay.
They'd be coming here and staying at my house or my aunt's or uncle's house.
Mm.
So and my cousins there, they were very involved in my life when I was a little kid.
Damn, dude, that's what's up, man. Like it's so cool, like just just seeing like all these other cultures and stuff. And I haven't like, I don't have any firsthand experience, but like I've always, like watched like TV shows and movies and stuff. And I was just like, oh man, it's so cool, like how like everyone's, like almost alike pretty much. Like, everybody wants to like have like a close-knit kind of family. Everyone wants to, pass down traditions and things like that.
Mhm.
And one of the reasons why, I wanted to have people with different backgrounds on and speak is because like we are all, I feel like we all like have like, similar interests in life. We all want to have a good life for our family. We all want to pass down traditions. We all pretty much want the same things. And people like, just like what I was saying before with shaming like American like values and stuff. I'm like, okay, so we're gonna just shame American values. Are we gonna start shaming Koreans and Korean values? Are we gonna start shaming Black people and Black people values? Are we gonna start shaming Greeks and Greek values? Are we gonna start shaming everybody else and their values for what they like believe in and what they like and what they love?
Exactly.
And eh, when in reality we're all the same, and we all pretty much kind of share like the same values but in a different way.
Mhm.
um I really think it's very like beautiful, man, to like hear like like your father's story, and like he was the earthquakes and stuff, and how he had to live in a tent, and then he comes to America, and then he's 23, opens his own restaurant, and then now like he's building a life for like his kids and stuff, so they're able to like go to school and everything. And I want to like tap into school with you a little bit real quick.
Sure, sure.
What for the people that don't know, what are you studying in school?
I'm studying physical therapy.
Okay.
I'm a third year student. So I'm going to be graduating this May.
Okay.
Uh,
What is what interests you about physical therapy? What is like some of the things that you learn that you were like, where do they even like come up with this kind of shit? Like, do you think like in like are you like do you ever think like who figured this stuff out, that the body works like this? Who figured this out? Like, what made you think that way?
yeah, man. So my love for the profession, or at least like my interest for it, first started back when I hurt myself in high school. Um, kind of then it really started when I got into like weightlifting with football.
Mm,
Um, and then whatever, the whole football team would be lifting, and I saw a lot of gains with my growth and my strength, and I was seeing everyone around me, and I got really into it, and I felt comfortable in the environment I was in. And I was like,
mm,
man, I just love this. I love lifting. I love working out, exercise, and then I started to just think deeper about it and the science behind it, and I was like, I got to make a career out of this. It
yeah,
was senior year. The point where a lot of kids going to college are trying to think, what the hell am I going to do with my life?
yeah.
In terms of a career. So I'm like, all right, I can make something out of this interest that I have. So then I started thinking PT. I knew that involved understanding exercise, and I knew it was a very respectable profession.
Hmm.
Um, but then during football, I actually I got I got hurt. I tore my labrum in my shoulder.
Mm.
I fell with an outstretched arm, and my shoulder dislocated just like for a split second, and
Holy
it
shit.
reduced. It wasn't like super bad, but it was a pain like I never felt. And so for that next for from that point on, for like another year and a half, I was having just some mild shoulder pain, mainly with like basketball and some overhead lifts. But then when I was playing basketball as a freshman one day at UIC's rec, I was side shuffling and I slipped on like sweat or some shit. And I fell again with an outstretched arm. And
Bruh.
that time it dislocated even worse. And dude, it sucks, man. Don't hurt your shoulder. It's so annoying.
Yeah.
So then
Holy
I had arthroscopic surgery that summer. They repaired my labrum, and then I finally had PT for the first time.
mm.
session during my therapy, I started to like feel like this would be something that I would be able to do with my career. And
Mm-hmm.
then I don't know that from then on, I just took college and school more serious than I ever had in my life. And I buckled in and I just did as best as I could in undergrad. But then I worked at another PT clinic downtown, Midwest Orthopedics at Rush. So I actually got to work as a PT aide in the clinic, and I was helping people out with exercises, like patients. I was actually
Mm-hmm.
doing, I was kind of I played a role in real patients' plans of care, and I was kind of helping them get better. So I started to build my therapeutic language, how I was conducting myself with patients. Along with that, growing up working in the restaurant, that's a that's a people's job. You have to communicate with others. You have to know how to kind of make people happy,
Mm-hmm.
make them leave your place being satisfied, whether it's with food or with a therapy session.
Yeah.
So I kind of fell into the vibe pretty well,
Mm-hmm.
and it worked out. And so that was just further validating, like this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Applied to PT school. Here I am, bro. I'm almost done with school.
Hell yeah. What is some of the advice that you would give to someone that's going into like the field of PT and physical therapy?
I would say try and get a job as a physical therapy aide at some clinic that you know you'll be able to at least work with patients at some point, like help them out with exercises. Because one, what this accomplishes two things. You get your physical therapy observation hours, which almost all physical therapy schools require a set amount when you're applying. That's got to be on your application.
Mm-hmm.
So accomplishes that. And on top of it, you're getting paid. So instead of just like hitting up a clinic and asking to observe, you are getting paid to basically just kind of just get your foot in the door in terms of the profession.
Yeah.
And just see how a physical therapist conducts their day in the life, and how they work with different individuals and different abnormalities and uh, impairments, whatever the patients are coming in for.
Mm-hmm.
And the third thing that working there accomplishes is it confirms or it rules out the fact of whether or not this is the profession for you. So you don't waste your time.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
That's nice, man.
Yeah.
All right. So I want to end the podcast with this, man. What is one of the things you wish you knew as a younger kid?
That was one of the things I wish I knew. Ah, as a kid, I don't know.
Or what would you tell yourself?
Tell little me,
Yeah.
just I don't know, stick with school a little better, and just kind of work towards any of the little goals that I had at that time, and that no matter whatever your goal is, if you work hard enough, it's achievable. I didn't make that realization until like later on in life, like mid high school and like beginning of college.
Same.
And exactly, man. It's like as little kids, some of us can be nervous, but then there's those few outlier little kids who who kind of get that fire for whatever they want to do in their life early on. And
Mm-hmm.
those kids who often can go the furthest, at least not that it's impossible for us, but
Mm-hmm.
they started off young. And then by the time they get their 20s, 30s, they're one of the best in what they do.
Yeah.
That's probably at least one thing. Another thing I wish I knew was actually if another thing about it is my dad's mom. I never actually got to meet my grandma. She died when I was 1 year old. So
Yeah.
I had a chance to talk with her more or at all, and just get to know her really. But she's got a sister that's still alive who looks like her. So
Yeah.
every time I see her, I'm like, hey,
That's
kind of
awesome, man.
like my grandma.
Yeah. All right, man.
Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate all the questions. It was a really good time.
Yeah, man. Thank you for hopping on, man. This has been another episode of the things I wish I knew. Shout out to Lewis, man.
We'll talk, brother. See you later.
Peace.